in a new studio at IntellectualRadio.com today. It's at one of their other studios they have here. We're the Knights of the Round Table, and joining me here, people might have already seen what's going on here. Where's my co-host? Well, Libby had some stuff she had to deal with, some family things going on. So I'm just having my guest sit in as my co-host today. So we got to welcome Mr. Andy P. to the studio. Hey, Andy, how are you?
Hello, audience. Here to sexually seduce you with my voice, my vocal cords.
You want to try? You know, a lot of people say that to me. You have a great radio voice. I think that's what they're referring to. Maybe I sound.
It's very monotone and to the point. Because you're a great interviewer, I know that.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
Okay, just check. Anyway,
my name's Mario. Here's my show.
So anyway,
Andy Griffith Hour.
I knew this was going to happen between Libby and Andy now. So anyway, Andy, I've known you for some time, helped you on a couple projects.
It's been about a minute.
Yeah, a few minutes, yeah, it has. Actually, I think it's been almost 10 years that we've known each other. But anyway, you did a bunch of stuff in the indie film industry. You are a local film enthusiast, I guess.
World renowned, buddy.
Are you world renowned? Okay.
Yes.
The one video we were talking off the air, and Andy, I like that idea, by the way. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just, people would like to know that they're being recorded. Andy was saying off before we started, why don't we just record everything in the background, like in the green room, and just before you get on the air and get set up.
Yeah, we had some good conversations
we were
with
doing
Wanda.
Yes, with the owners, right? And the only thing is, then maybe it won't. What are you going to do on the actual show? Then?
It's unscripted.
Yes,
and it's the raw talk before the phoniness of radio.
But you say that I'm not phone. We're just talking. We're not making stuff up here.
You just film it. Don't let anybody know, and then later approach them and be like, "Oh, we've been recording, but we'll delete it if you want to."
I mean, there are privacy.
And then censor whatever, You got
to worry about some privacy stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a cool. Everybody likes behind the scenes. That's why they like seeing the video at the radio station.
I was giving her some shit about. I was like, "This is a beautiful little set here." But it's very trip prone because of the wires, and sure enough, it's like a complex I put in her head because she's tripping all over the place.
Yeah, good job.
Girl, you tripping?
You should be on radio. You're very convincing. You even put the idea in somebody's head. See, that's why
like the scene of Indiana Jones. He's got the snakes all over the place. I was hoping and praying the actor wouldn't step on the snakes.
Well, of course he was going to. That was the whole point of that scene. I hate
compassionate brain watching films. It worries me.
See, he's already produced. Can you tell everybody that he's just kind of into always thinking about stuff? I don't know. Do you write this down, or you just take a camera out and start filming stuff?
Dude, I'm just on the fly. I'm a cool white guy from the hood.
From the hood. He's from Northwest Indiana.
And with the ladies, I get under the hood. I fix some mechanical issues.
He should be doing stand-up one day here soon. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?
No.
Really?
I guess my whole online personality is stand-up, but...
Well, here's the deal. Improv, there's such thing as being improv. You don't have to have an act written out. We were just talking, again, we're talking behind the scenes, off the air. We had a guest on earlier this week that's we're talking about world renowned. I mean, he's legendary. We even called him a legend on the air. He's from Harvey, Illinois.
Who?
Mr. Dreesen, Tom Dreesen. He used to.
Oh, the Frank Sinatra.
He used to be on. He was he does comedy. He was a stand-up act that would come on right before Mr. Sinatra. That's correct, Frank. Old Blue Eyes. We kept calling him Old Blue Eyes during the interview.
Sammy Davis Jr.
He actually, and I didn't know this. I learned this on the air. I didn't see it in his bio. He toured for a long time with the singers from the 70s. Now, of course, I'm on the air and I'm drawing a blank. Not Sinbad. That's the actor. We can talk about that in a second. But anyway, he had a lot of experience before he started working with Frank Sinatra. That wasn't something he just auditioned for or whatever.
Right.
In fact, he told the story how it was kind of just happenstance that he got the gig in the first place. He was working with Sammy Davis Jr. He was behind the scenes. What you're talking about, I mean, there was no cameras rolling, but he was talking to people behind the scenes.
I think Sammy Davis was the first introduction of black in your face back in the 60s or whatever.
No, that was before that. It was in the 40s
really?
and 50s even.
They're talking about it in Godfathers of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, yeah.
It's about the JFK assassination.
Yes. You watch a lot of
Cassius
Netflix,
Clay.
don't you? You like Netflix, don't you?
Oh, I love all these streaming platforms because there's thousands of them and they're all trying to give you content. It's the best time in history for them to spill out movies and shows and in competition with each other, not caring about what they're going to make in theaters with their $10 drinks or whatever, but they're just giving you right on demand stuff.
Yeah, it's not $20 tickets either.
It sucks for the physical media realm because everybody's throwing out their DVDs and stuff. I love going through alleys and getting people's collections. I still have my DVDs.
You brought up a good point there that it's become like so much more accessible to be in the entertainment industry than say even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. I mean, you used to have big, bulky rigs with you. The cameras were huge. Now people are using like this little rig on their photo camera. The phones those are good. They work, but for film they're still using a nice camera,
the powers
like
that be
8K camera.
The powers that be control film. Okay, you can't make a movie without getting a $600,000 camera, whether it's digital now or not. And they've done away with film. Still, they keep it expensive.
You can make it look like film. Do you like the film?
Look, the powers that here's something I noticed in the studio. These books look awesome. Self-published. I got a dozen published myself. But the powers that be have crimped creativity, so you're not going to get any of these sold. Whether a lot of people do buy some, you got to invest in the marketing platform. The sizes are all off. Don't you notice that? You could go buy a Stephen King book, and it's something you're used to, a rectangular shape. Why can't any self-publishing make that size? They control the narrative of it.
You keep saying that. You mean like the
They control the template of everything.
The big studios, the big publishers.
There's only one power that controls everything in our lives.
Well, you keep saying that. That's a topic for a whole other show, but I guess we can get into it. But what I want to talk about is your background then. So you've come from totally... You didn't go to film school, right?
Well, I attempted. I got a Pell Grant to go, but I guess they accidentally sent an email like, this guy's going to be a problem because I'm a federal criminal. I've been in the feds in California.
Yeah, I didn't know you wanted to.
And that was because of
movies.
He
brought that up on the air.
It was because of a movie script.
Yeah,
and one kind of crazy girlfriend.
Now you open Pandora's box, as they say, quote unquote. Okay, so here's the deal. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I know Andy through a couple other friends that told me about him. I had originally interviewed him for like a little podcast thing I was doing. Speaking of self-published,
this is real thug.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in the. Right. What are you smoking, Andy? But anyway, so Andy's been involved with some big wigs in the entertainment industry. He sent his scripts out to L.A., ended up in the film festival, and I guess Kevin Spacey was running it or was involved with it. Or was the Kevin Spacey?
I don't want to talk about it, but short story of it, Kevin Spacey's involved. His name's on my...
He says he doesn't want to talk about it. He brought it up, folks, not me. I didn't bring
accidentally. But his name's on a federal discovery on the paperwork. They didn't have a case, really. But I was dating my girlfriend. We were crazy at the time, and I don't know. It's a big fiasco, but it involved terrorism. They deemed me a terrorist because my script, The Thing from Another World, was #1 for 2 months in a row. That is... You're supposed to make it into a movie, like they said, and they did.
What was that? What was he doing? What would
they remade it in 2011, but it was suckier. They took a lot of stuff from my script, and I was in jail at that time.
Well, wait, but what did they call that whole thing? That was the Kevin. You got to talk about. I'm sorry. We've got the owners in the room saying, "Come on, now, come on." It was not the
any lawyers out there that are non-powers that be. Let's make that money.
In other words, somebody doesn't have as a client some big film studio exec, right? But okay, wait, back up. The thing that you were doing was...
I'm gonna back that ass up.
No, please don't do that right here. Okay. I might. We might have to go to a quick break, and I'm gonna be by myself.
I'm getting all these reprimands. Ain't no gum chewing in this mug.
Wait,
I'm chewing gum. I'm sorry. I'm a rebel.
Put that away.
No profanity.
Put that away.
What words
profanity.
can I say?
No.
You're trying to bind me up.
Yep, I am. Put that gum away, by the way.
Right.
Please swallow it. Anyway, so what you were involved with was an organized thing, kind of like Project Greenlight with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
It's a mill to manufacture other people's ideas and just steal them.
But what was it called? You still haven't told me the name of it.
Trigger Street. And it reviews scripts.
I got you.
And in my Babe in the Woods mind, I thought they actually, all the critics, you hone your script perfect, which I actually innocently did dozens of times, making it the perfect dang script ever. Out of all my scripts that a buddy of mine in LA was shopping around and getting into Bruckhammer's hands or whatever, that was the script everybody loved. And they should have made it. But like I said, they made it in 2011. So I can easily sue. But like I said, I've been in California prison for a year.
But the reason that happened is because there were some issues. Somebody got upset. With
threatening.
Mr.
Yeah,
Spacey
my girlfriend
deal.
changed my words in our usual weekly arguments with the judges of the site. You know, they keep yanking my script off.
But you were sending emails back
they
and forth. They
preemptively planned to steal it.
But
I didn't know that.
Because you were sending them emails back and forth. That was what got you.
Oh, that
trouble,
was
right?
after, the fact.
Okay.
And then, it's called threatening interstate commerce or something. I went to use the bathroom. She changed my email, usually talking about their mom's vaginas or something. And then she changed it oh, I'm going to get you. And then a year later, feds are kicking down my doors. It's like, dude, if I was going to do that, it would have been then, not a year later, right?
I don't know. I just heard parts of the story before. And like I said, we did that for a little phone podcast thing before, everybody was doing this kind of stuff. That was a long time. That was 8 years ago, I think, already, when we did that interview. But, anyway, we weren't going to get into it. Now that's his background. He's been a film,
I try
writing
to be,
films and producing little independent stuff.
I made two feature slashers with different friends. We both co-directed, okay?
Where did they end up, by the way? Are they on
They're
DVD
actually
or
with
Netflix?
Toxic. Another buddy, Jason Toth, I think. He has Toxic Video, Filth or something, and he re-released those movies, and he made thousands of bucks off them. I forfeited the movies, and I had released them on VHS, didn't make a dime.
VHS,
actually, there's a paneling. I made a poster in front of my grandma's house at the time, and actually I sold maybe 100 of those. But then I had a billboard. I made a billboard on Klein. It was a couple $100.
Klein Avenue in Indiana, for everybody that know.
We had DVDs and VHS, didn't sell any. So marketing doesn't always.
Well, that's kind of the point of our conversation today. Is how do we, you already said it. You feel like there is just this big movement to keep down the little guy. How do we get out there and produce stuff?
Okay, 20, 30 years ago, I made these movies for free with just friends. Nobody ever showed up for the scenes, so you have to just do on the fly a neighborhood person or a homeless guy. Hey, be in the movie. And that's how literally in the alleys and all the behind the scenes. Every scene had cops in it, accosting us.
But again, the independent film, the goal was you would sell it to the bigger companies in LA.
Oh, that's
right?
my point I was getting to.
Oh.
No, I just made it for fun. But that was 20, 30 years ago. I'm editing my own stuff. You cannot edit anything now. I can't, get footage and edit it in any way. You have to pay thousands of dollars for the softwares. They've crimped any kind of piracy software.
It's crimped, by the way.
Or whatever. That's the
cut off.
That's the adjective for crimp.
Cut off. But here's what
Lorena bobbited.
This is okay. I like
that's
that better.
Better.
I like that better
okay?
for people from the '90s. Will remember that. Actually, I think everybody knows.
Mother.
I think everybody knows about. They've been bobbited, right? Lorena bobbited. What was the guy's name? I don't remember the guy's name.
He actually became a porn star after that.
Yeah,
because he got it attached.
We can't remember his name. Or was his last name?
John Bobbitt.
Oh, it was John Wayne Bobbitt. That's right. Okay. I remember John Wayne now. Anyway, so back to the story. Your whole thing in life is you just want to have everybody have fun with you and make your small little productions. Everybody gets a little piece of it, and you don't have the big wig studio
Come
guys.
get a piece of this action.
Well, you don't have the man keeping you down, is what I'm saying. You're just trying to give everybody a chance.
Well,
your angle.
like the self-publishing I was talking about. If
By the way,
maybe half these people
how do you know that's all self-published?
Well, I know because I have a dozen books, all different genres published. Never made a dime. But if they came together, maybe. And then did the packaging and look at Tyler Perry.
Wait, back up. You're saying by the look of those, you think some of and they can't see it off camera, but
no,
there's
some
bunch
are
of books
probably
on display.
If they're not selling like hotcakes, that means they're great, because only bullshit sells in America.
Well,
and marketing and Donald Trump talking about it on a podium, those are the only stupid things in America that work. You have to play by the rules.
What are the rules?
And
what are you talking about?
this just gives a placebo to people that they're going to get something done. But the powers that be control everything.
What do you
They've
mean by
they've made
the
black
rules?
suffrage. Black people didn't have to deal with.
Getting all upset.
Okay, black people didn't have to deal with suffrage like they had. The powers that be made them go through these timelines.
But what about like you're talking about like this? What is the system? I guess you're talking about. Let's hear.
I'll
Andy's
just say
version of
this:
it.
there is the oldest. Okay. Religions can be cults, right? Now, why can you talk about any religion as a cult except there's one religion that's the oldest, 7,000 years old?
Right.
You're forbidden from even talking about it. There's actually a law.
There's more than 7,000.
Just like their law on the animals, you can't even look in the slaughterhouses or show a video what's happening to animals because there's an ad gag law they created. They control the lawyers. They control the two sides of politics we think we have choices about. They control all the religions. They're creating all the wars. They've made the black plight suffer horribly.
Wait, get back to that.
And they're still generating charities off everything.
What about
ridiculous.
the book? Is there a format you got to follow? You're saying to publish a book with their system? These people.
Well, this is like I said, it's a placebo pill.
You know, you're reminding me of Kevin Trudeau. You know who Kevin Trudeau is?
Is that like a self-help Tony Robbins guy?
He was, but he got in big trouble for selling books at the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission.
What's that mean?
That was against him because he supposedly he was making claims that were like totally false. So he got in big trouble for that. But he was giving out information like you're talking about them, and he even said it's the natural cures that they don't want you to know. That was the title of his book.
Oh, well, they control private health care. They sicken you with dead animal flesh,
and
then they dissect you in the hospitals.
You're sounding like Kevin Trudeau, what I'm saying. So obviously there must be some truth to this.
Well,
I didn't know
if
he
you
was going
get
to talk about
banned
this,
or
by the way.
blocked, there might be some truth in you. Charles Manson was completely nuts, but the guy actually wrote all the Beach Boys songs. So he was in their circles being the creative might.
That's allegedly. I don't think they ever
And
proved
he
that.
never even killed anybody.
I mean, there's
he was
pictures
probably
of
drunk
him.
at a party. He's like, "Hey man, go kill them." And then some idiots went and killed somebody.
Well, wait.
That poor guy died in prison for no reason.
Whoa! Now you're going to
Because he was passionate.
Well, he did
I'm
know
not
the Beach
saying
Boys.
the
I know
victim-
that. He knew the Beach Boys.
I'm
Calm down,
sorry for the
relax.
victims.
You're getting loud here.
But I'm just saying he didn't do that. You don't know what entailed in their acid trip hallucinations.
So wait,
you know?
if I understand your theory about everything is there's this big, I call them the Illuminati. You can call them whatever you want.
They're not Illuminati. They're a working religion in the world, and it's 7,000 years old.
It goes beyond like the Bilderberg group and all that crap, right?
Oh, that's just the face of what you see. Zuckerberg and Bilderberg and you know what's funny? Weinstein. Okay?
We were going to talk about him, but we won't have time.
Now,
Andy's talking about
they
all this
control all politics. They were letting these...
Wait, stop, hold on. Let's tell everybody what's going on in case they didn't hear. Harvey Weinstein, the producer, a big-time producer, he had a couple of studios, and everybody knew who he was, friends with Oprah Winfrey and all these big, huge celebrity people and politicians. He was found guilty, I think, in 4 different trials, was it? Of
Allegedly.
Raping these actresses. So Anyway, that's Harvey Weinstein. He now was found not guilty. I don't know exactly what happened. They reversed the decision in New York.
Okay.
So how about that?
Great segue. Okay. That was very responsible of you.
Well, I'm the host, so
okay,
I know what to do.
Saying the news. That's great. Now they're educated on that. Okay, now here's the in-depth between the lines.
That's what Andy's here.
The horse race.
It's Andy P, by the way.
Okay, the horse race.
We don't say his last name.
The
Just
horse,
Andy P.
The horse racing of Trump and Biden, anybody could have won. Because Biden's given this religious cult all this money for 2 concurrent wars, okay? They're giving hundreds of billions. All our tax money going to this crap, killing, bombing villages and creating more terrorists.
I mean, there is some kind of war going on. My friend has.
Well, you don't bomb
there.
a populace no matter who you are. Yeah. There are like the Geneva Convention. There's rules to even war, as horrible as it is.
You think they're actually
and you know, let's say
they follow those.
Okay,
rules?
Let's say there's a terrorist.
You think that these governments
wait,
follow those rules?
There's a terrorist right now in this building. Deemed by the federal government, me.
Oh,
I was supposed to get. I was like,
who are you talking about?
I'm just trying to get technical here. I'm being technical.
The owners and me almost had a heart attack.
I am a federal felon deemed a terrorist. I haven't fought my case yet. So, by law, a government can bomb this place and kill everybody in the whole building because I was seen here.
Okay, get out.
Now,
you know what?
That's what
We're
I'm
gonna
saying.
end this show right now.
Now,
Wanda
this
is
show is
right.
over.
That's what
This
I'm
was
saying.
a great thing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is Andy P., local film producer, actor.
And
That's
See you
That's
later.
what I'm saying about
Where's
these
Libby?
wars.
Libby, get here now.
That's what they're doing to these wars. You know, all these dead kids on the news.
I know he's getting. Andy likes to,
There's a point to this
He paints the
stupidity.
picture with the words. You know, he gets
Okay.
kind of bombastic out here, but the truth is there's definitely something to what you're saying. I don't want to point fingers at anybody.
Okay, now-
I don't want to be woke, canceled,
Now-
whatever they call it.
Okay, now the Weinstein.
You know.
Now the
Right.
Weinstein
Coming
angle.
after.
Okay, so you got Biden and Trump. Trump's he's kind of like being on the nuts of the powers that be. They ousted him. They actually.
trying to.
I've been spouting
yeah.
for this religion my entire life from all the movies and shows. Okay, and I've been eating meat like they put in every movie and every show. So they sell meat. They say, oh, this horrible things happened.
Product
Okay.
placement. You're talking about product placement.
Okay, now Trump and Biden are competing. They're going to see who's going to be on our nuts the most. Well, Biden in office, whether he's senile or what, he's given hundreds of billions flagrantly to these entities. Okay, so he's going to be president now, just like the first time. It was a rigged election. Listen, nobody has more
I don't
hateful.
usually hear people say that.
I've only hated
don't
one
like
person
President
in
Trump.
my life, and it's Trump, because it's such a stupid idea, and every hilljack in America loves him. Okay, I hate what he did with the USDA.
Wait, you said only one person. You said you don't like Libby, so maybe that's two.
She's boring to me. All right, look.
Sorry.
Now,
I gotta call you out on that.
Trump and Biden are competing for the presidency.
Yeah.
Now, it's like a sick joke what the powers that be are doing. They're busting Trump now for the Stormy Daniels stuff, while also acquitting the most accused pervert, Me Too rapist ever. They're letting Weinstein off the
Mr.
hook.
Weinstein, yeah,
Because
Harvey
it's
Weinstein.
a shout out to Trump. Be like, haha. That's literally what that is.
Well, it has something to do with the New York folk that didn't like him
no,
very
they
much, I
control everything.
It's not just New York.
Trump
folk.
put all these judges in. It doesn't matter. They control all law. Okay, they did that as a pot shot to him.
It's funny. We were going to talk about film, but you got into a whole nother plane here.
I just
who's
wanted-
controlling what, and of course, I don't think we need
We're
to
all
mention
marionetted. Okay.
Who. Yeah, I know. I see. According to you, I feel like we still have freedom of choice here. We are in the United States. Maybe not in some of those war-torn places like Ukraine.
Well, you may have a
Russia.
choice of using a toaster oven and an air fryer, but they might yank that power away. California, the rank.
Take my air fryer.
Here's California politics for you. Gavin Newsom, he's taking away everybody's stoves because it's so bad for your health.
Yeah.
Gas stoves. Okay.
Well, it's not just him. It's
he has a vested
environmentalists.
He has vested interest in owning all these cattle ranches.
Yes,
so the
he
farts
does.
from the cows that are killing the planet and we can't breathe. And then on another point, he's doing that.
Again, that's
it's
not-
hypocrisy.
They haven't really all proved. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of scientists that believe it is the gases from
No,
the
it's
cows,
60,
but-
70% all emissions, methane or whatever, expelled from the cow.
Well, that's what they say, but have
And
they
the
ever
feed,
proven?
and the
where are
feed.
the studies on the other side? I mean, because I don't know. There's lots of cows. That's all I'm going to say.
Another
in the world.
another hypocrisy in the news. TikTok, they want to ban it and everything. What? How
I'm
can you
totally
control?
against that, by the
How
way.
can you monopolize a business and be like, oh, I want that. Oh, you're successful. I want that.
Again, they're using the
Right.
excuse, and
Oh,
you keep
spy-
saying they. We'll get to the they, I guess.
Oh, what?
down
They
the line,
spy
but
on us?
supposedly.
No, there's
Supposedly
some,
TikTok
just like
is
the
taking
Charles
the
Manson.
data.
Charles Manson thing, there's some truth into that craziness. There's some stupid dances and some crazy alien videos. Yeah, but there's some real alien videos. There's some real dancing. You ever see that Moonwalker guy? He's like,
Yeah, but that I thought they
he's
said that
so
was made
he's
up.
so damn fluid with his feet. He's awesome.
Wait a minute. Are you
Not
talking
fluid
about
with my mouth.
those, yeah, wait, you're talking about. You're not talking about those things on the
This
side of the
faucet
street
gonna
that
sit.
they do at car dealers. Are you talking about that? Those things?
It gonna make everything wet.
I'm not sure
Especially
what
them women.
What are you talking
You know
about
what
with
I'm
the?
saying?
What are you talking about with the thing with this? Wait, you're going all over the place. I unleashed the demons here, folks. But we were here going to talk about films, but I guess we're going to talk about a little everything now.
Hello.
Andy over here. I would have never known that he was quote unquote on a terrorist
Look
list.
at Wendy's.
I knew he got in some trouble.
At Wendy's, sometimes I'll eat some kind of dairy remnants.
Wait, that's a whole.
Not
we'll
dairy,
get to that in a
but
minute.
we got Cinnabon
well,
at
hold on.
Wendy's.
Yes, we
and
do.
I got an orange juice, $3 But then look I got a refill of orange juice. It's called Fanta. They can't break me down.
Well, you cheated technically, but we won't talk about. Well, now you just admitted it. Anyway,
Great, I'm gonna get
back up
me
a
in
minute.
cuffs.
First of all, who's the guy you're referring to that's flying like this? You talking about like the ones they use at car dealers? You know, with the flappy thing that's like just air blowing
The
through.
flailing arms of I don't know what those things are called. Are you talking about what do you?
But that's what you're referring
Why
to.
are you on the topic of like sign flippers?
I don't know, because you were talking about the guy flipping his wings. What are you talking about?
Here's a flip for you.
No. No, what are you talking about a second ago with the arms flipping? Who was that? You forgot
He
already?
doesn't know. He moved on.
A homosexual man running for his life from a fire.
No. Okay.
I'm
Well, okay.
kind of homosexual.
Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. We wanted to talk about movies and your
But
involvement
what are you
in
talking
them.
about? Flailing arms?
I don't know. You said it.
Or like a
You forgot
dainty
what he
woman.
said
She's like,
already.
mouse.
I don't know. Move on.
My husband, come home and smash it with a broom. Why don't you open the door, you
Here.
dumb bit?
Let
it out.
This is why you are
Let me use a
independent
glue
film
trap.
producer.
I'm
You're
sinister
just out of your
and
mind.
sadistic.
He's a little crazy. I knew he was a
I want to
little.
watch it slowly die like tar pits and the dinosaurs.
I knew he
I'm
was
a normal
eccentric.
housewife.
Yeah, you're a little crazy. You know that. Anyway, back to the story. The film industry. You say them, and again, I mentioned Kevin Cho because I just saw a clip from him this morning.
I can't say the word because I don't want to be banned. I don't want to be the Gestapo FBI, which Facebook is in cahoots with. It's the same entity. They'll come scoop you
mean
up.
when, like our pages get taken down.
Yeah,
and don't notice
they
that
let
kind of
you
thing?
talk to a limit, but they'll come scoop you up and lock you away like they did me. Okay, they control the feds. That's their Gestapo. Okay,
But you didn't even have. That wasn't even a Facebook.
The power
deal.
that
was
be-
a festival you were
I'll
in.
say one word. I could talk about them, but
No, don't.
indirectly.
Do
Okay.
me a favor, don't.
Now, when you think religion, what do you think? Churches, right?
Big church.
Now, what's in every church? A pew. The pews, the bench that are in churches.
Okay.
So let's just say I'm talking about the pews. Okay?
We'll leave it at that, I guess. I don't know.
And it's no hate
but
at
that
all.
has nothing to do
It's
with.
just and one of the countries that is given all this money to the Rayleighs or whatever. I feel bad for them. They're kind of like a shield to the BS that the bigwigs are doing. They're using them as a shield.
But you got way off the subject.
And a lot of them are rebelling, and I'm proud of them.
Back up a minute. You keep talking about they and the film industry. Do you think? Do you feel that what happened to you is because somebody knew what you were trying to do and knew that you were trying to win that? And
Actually,
you were going to win that
again, I'm completely innocent. I had no idea Hollywood did control things from this religious entity. I just thought you could make an awesome script. And my buddy was a pew in L.A. shopping them, getting them in people's hands because he kind of like has no tact and he'll go right up to anybody.
Well, he has
a skill about that.
I think I know what you're talking about. He had an agent in L.A.
Yeah, but even he isn't in-house with the big wigs. It's all nepotism. Oh, let my grandson and knows nothing about. He likes movies. He likes to watch them. Let him make the Terrifier.
I mean,
let's dump $1 billion.
We're going to get to that in a minute. You're going way ahead of yourself. Speaking of that, I feel like in L.A. there is kind of like, or just in the entertainment industry in general, there is a lot of who you know people. It's not so much
Not really.
what you know. It's if you're with the right agent or with the right movie producer,
let's say
with
late
the right
night
station executive from the radio.
That may be true in like Eddie Murphy's case. He's in those circles, but he's probably part of that religion.
Well,
They're not just going to
go
go give somebody on the street Peele and Key. Oh, I love their show. But they're half what I'm speaking.
He's looking at a picture of Key and Peele.
They're half what I'm speaking of.
But here's the deal with him specifically. Now you're talking about Eddie Murphy. It wasn't Eddie Murphy that was going off on the system or them, the big wigs. It was Eddie Griffin and Cat Williams. Those guys are the ones.
Oh, those guys are real.
They really.
But they're so real and popular. They're only given a little kind of position. You know, I heard the Rogan podcast with Cat Williams, and
That's what I'm talking about.
he's like,
No, it
"There's
wasn't
only
Rogan.
a few of us." No, Joe Rogan is
Wait.
a pew.
It wasn't Joe
He's
Rogan that
been
made,
on television his whole life.
but it wasn't Joe Rogan that made this scene. It was the football player that he was on with that interview that really blew up. I'm drawing a blank of who that is.
John
right
Matuska?
now. No,
The
Seth-
guy that you didn't
no.
know played Sloth in Goonies?
Yeah, but no, not
What
him.
was that TV show?
That was Benson. That
Oh,
had nothing to do with it.
Benson?
We were watching a show, Benson.
And he just stands over the chair and sits
Yeah,
in
no,
there?
no, no. This is he. Oh, I can't
I thought
think
it
of his
was
name.
we thought it was Lyle
He's a
Alzado.
big. Oh man, I can't believe I
From
can't
the
think of it. We're
Raiders?
on the air. Anyway, he has a podcast. Cat Williams went on there, just went off on everybody, and that thing blew up. That got like 5 million views here, 10 million, whatever. It got a lot of views.
You know, TikTok educated me on this, and Cat Williams on TikTok educated me on McDonald's French fries, how it's pure poison. They create this potato that nobody's ever seen.
Here you go.
It's
with
the size.
they. You keep going back up. It's like we're at the bottom of the
Who do you
pyramid.
think
the top
controls
of
McDonald's and every
Ray
successful
Kroc? I don't know.
corporation?
Ray Kroc.
Okay, who do you think he is? Okay,
Well,
maybe
dead
he's just
now, but
a good old boy but still the Pews created him. They let him do the business in the Freemasonry thing they constructed in America. Like and like we're all like our
there's
country
skull and
is based
bones, there's all
our
that stuff.
country is based on being a-holes in the woods. Like, just let me go stalk something
for the whole world,
and
you
then
mean?
kill it, like hunting. That's the creepiest thing in the world, and yet everybody's all cool and accepting of it. Yeah, because these
that's how everybody
bloodthirsty
survives.
these
Wait a minute.
bloodthirsty people will be out in society doing it to people, you know?
But people
so we let them
survived
kill
on
some
that
little
stuff.
innocent animals all day long. you
I
know?
thought you meant like the USA tries to be like the powerhouse for the whole world. You're talking about lifestyle. Just
The Pews made the Freemasonry and then like the Hill Jacks. They made them what they are, just like they made anybody from any other religion. They made
Well,
us super hateful.
the
Now,
latest is the World Economic
in
Forum.
prison-
The World Economic Forum is the big
Look,
one now. That's
in prison-
causing a lot of stuff.
In
Black
prison, I'm trying to be a peacemaker, saving people's lives every day, okay? Fighting every hour, okay? It's always white people that are always have the hatred in them.
You know what I don't understand?
No
is
other race.
How did it
dude.
get that? How did it get that far that you actually had to go to a federal prison, not even like the
I
county
was up in
jail?
that joint.
I guess so. I mean,
I was making you drop that
did you
soap.
not get an attorney to
Yeah.
help you somehow? I mean,
Yeah, my
geez.
defender sabotaged the whole thing. They're paid with the same paycheck.
As
And
a
even
judge,
then,
right?
I didn't know the Pews control everything. They were paid by the same as the prosecutor. So what am I fighting? I'm hitting my head against the wall here.
I
you know?
mean, at this point, I can't really confirm or deny your theory because I keep hearing so
Deny,
much
deny,
stuff.
deny.
I mean, I saw what now I see what happened to you. We saw what happened to Mr. Trudeau, who wrote a ton of books. He's in some kind of society. Speaking of all those societies, in something. I don't remember which one it was.
Everybody has some kind of cult. they're
But it's
part
like
of, you know?
but I'm not in anything that I know of. I was in the political party thing, but that's
You're a Republican. That's
Yeah.
a cult.
well, I'm
Democrats are a
independent.
cult.
I'm independent. He
Well,
says I'm Republican. Whatever. I'm independent.
We're all on the same side. You're not a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire. What are we squabbling about? 2-cent gas prices?
I don't know. President Trump is squabbling about something. He's a multi-billionaire. So
He's the biggest sleazy car salesman of jalopies I've ever seen.
that's what
And
everybody
people
says.
eat it up.
I
Look
don't-
at this. Looks like ET.
I'm
isn't it?
gonna no. That's our. Don't mess with our phone stand. Get that
Look,
out
this
of
is
the
a better part of a doll show. Let me see it.
Oh, Mario. Oh, we have a relationship together.
Oh, stop.
Let's just
Give me
make
that.
a show about us sitting on the
I'm gonna
couch
turn the cameras off. right now.
arguing all day like grumpy old men. Oh,
That's what
such
we
a
like.
great
Okay,
show.
leave me alone. Will you just leave my show parts here? That's my stand if I wanted to broadcast. I think I'm going to delete this broadcast. Anyway, back to the story. So the whole point of this
No
is
for that.
you're trying to be an independent producer, filmmaker in the Northwest Indiana area, which is technically the Chicago area,
Which I
has
can't.
a lot of film stuff going on. A lot of filming going on.
What, Tyler Perry? Because
No,
he
he's in
has,
Atlanta. He's in Georgia.
I thought he had some in Chicago.
He may have, but as far as I know, he moved.
Well, he has
to
great
Georgia.
production value. He's like this main star, and he's kind of funny and stuff.
Is he
And then he has
independent?
family and friends that come together, and they make this $1 billion
I don't think
entity.
he's,
That's
I don't
how
think he's
people
in-
have to do it.
I don't think he's independent.
Collaboration.
Is he an independent studio? You're not
Even-
answering.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think
I've
so.
only seen bits
he's
of his
in with
movies.
some big wigs now. speaking of
his
them,
trailer
they,
to his new movie actually looks hilarious, so I might see that. But
I got nothing against Tyler Perry.
now
Weren't Key and Peele?
Oh,
we
that's
keep,
a
we
great
keep referring
show.
to the picture off camera.
Keanu, did you see Keanu with the cat? It's hilarious.
But what? Aren't they with Tyler Perry? I think they are.
No,
They're not. They're on their
completely
own.
separate. Yeah.
Okay, because I know he produces a lot of stuff now. He did that really cool. Well, he's got a couple movies, but that one
He
horror
did
movie.
a remake of Twilight Zone, which some were from my writing, but most of them sucked.
See, that was what the big conversation topic was going to be. You feel that the powers that be, them, and you call them the Qs, whatever, have managed to, whatever you decide to do, the word leaks out, and they basically are
Okay.
stealing your idea somehow.
I did something very clever. Lawyers, if you're listening and you want to be a billionaire, because everybody's going to settle, okay? I did this clever thing.
Maybe you should give away your strategy on the
Because
air.
I outthought everybody. When I'm locked up, the epicenter of my problems was a script. And they stole it. I didn't know it till I got out, but cleverly and actually inadvertently, in my daily correspondence, drawing like 20 demon pictures, penises and vaginas, and all this crazy artwork, abstract art I did, all the stories I would write, it was going through the mail system. All the federal and the sheriff's thing, they have to scan all this, and that
You mean
whole
the mail?
year.
You mean
That whole year, not just
Who are you talking about? The post office?
no, the federal system, at the county system, they have to process all this and scan all this correspondence. You're a federal prisoner. You're big time.
Oh! When
So-
you're in prison, they were
so
scanning.
all this
Okay,
stuff-
now I get it. Okay.
And the whole story about me in general just talks to my family and stuff. All this correspondence is being transcribed, copied, photoshopped,
I've
whatever.
never heard that. You're
And
telling me if you say something, they could write it down.
After 2010, my stint in the feds, I've seen nothing but my ideas in movies. Now,
Well, why were you talking about it while you're chilling out in the cells there with the
I
feds?
kind of want to claim that it was my idea and I outsmarted them, but it was just accidental innocence.
Okay.
But after 2010, every movie and show, even Orange is the New Black, based on my life in there, everything they did, I jot all this stuff down.
I knew you
so if there's a lawyer, we can make billions of dollars. So there's dozens of
But you
movies.
have to have proof of that.
Oh, I do. It's called a copyright. Now, whether it's actually copyrighted in the Library of Congress decades prior to a Stephen King novel or book, it doesn't matter. It's in the public space. Let's say I make a blog.
But
It's public
of
space.
your scripts are there, or are
You
you
could-
talking to people
Now,
about it?
Facebook cleverly deleted a lot
Wait,
of my
stop. Back up. What would be things that they would have taken or know about?
stories, novels, artwork.
That you wrote
Yes.
physically. You didn't talk to
And
somebody
it
about it. You wrote
predates
it on
all
paper.
their
Okay.
stuff.
All right.
And it's
Interesting.
provable. If Facebook deletes it all, you could
Well,
subpoena it.
Do you know about the whole thing? Like, if you have the idea, 20 other people also had the idea. You know about that, right?
Yes, there's millions of those instances. I don't jot those down in my folder. It's only like stuff I could prove in a court of law,
Okay.
and
That's
it's
fair.
like whole scenes.
So yours, I didn't know we wanted to delve into any of this, really. We were going to be talking about your independent film you're working on now and just the film industry in general, but you really took it in another direction. So, again...
One Direction's my favorite band.
Oh, God.
Hey, maybe
Are
no
they even
gum.
around anymore?
Hey, maybe no gum because I kind of heard myself chomping.
Yeah, will you get rid of that, please?
Oh.
Thank you. I thought he got rid of everybody. Sorry about that.
Is that why though? You think?
It
I'm
just
just
doesn't look
wondering
good
the
on
reason.
camera to be chewing
Oh,
gum.
okay.
If the sign was out, I thought I
Okay.
told. Anyway, back to the story. So we could talk about films all day, but now you, like we said earlier, you've opened up this whole thing, this big Pandora's box of things to talk about. You're bringing this whole industry down to the people at the top are telling us what we're going to see and hear and believe and enjoy. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, like this. I'm sure there's a revenue coming in. This looks all professional to me, but something like Howard Stern or a Joe Rogan, these are pews, and they're given all this influx of secret gold or whatever
Well-
to do this. orchestrate it for all the lands.
You're not the only one that's talked about this. I have to say, maybe we could all think
Everything
Andy
in
P,
your
my
life-
producer friend, is crazy.
Everything in your life, whether
there's a lot of facts.
your
that
computer
support
glitches or it has to update or it scares you and says, oh, your antivirus is expired, and you have to constantly update. Every problem is because of the powers that be, whether it's an underling like Bill Gates creating. I have software I can't even use that I bought in college.
Well, no, that they want you. That's called planned obsolescence. That's what that is. But who made that
fancy
idea?
word, law language or not, I don't give a shit. I want to use my damn software I've been using for 30 years, and I can't. You think that ain't bullshit? I want to sue just for that. I can't use Microsoft Word.
Again.
And I even go online and sign in and use my serial numbers and try to explain it, contact them.
It's you against the
It's
big
me against the
corporation
world,
people.
man.
Yeah, that's what
and
I feel
anybody
like.
with struggle, having succeeded past struggle, you have to deal with these little stupid, little annoying things like somebody poking you like that, and there's nobody around to like punch in the face.
I don't know. I think maybe
It's
when
the
you were
pews.
when you were in the hands of the feds, as you keep saying, they must have messed with you somehow.
The pews?
They psychologically reprogrammed because you seem very upset about life and everything in
I'm-
general, and
I'm-
kind of a little paranoid.
Look, I'm black. I'm black from the waist down. I'm black in my soul, and I'm black in my struggle. So anything I say, everybody should listen to and fight against.
I've lost this show.
I'm against the man. I'm against corporations. Now, if people want to make money in capitalism, okay, make $1 million. Why does anybody need billions of dollars? You should be like.
I hope everybody can have $1 billion.
You should be.
I'm not opposed to capitalism and free markets and stuff.
You think somebody should have $1 billion?
Why not?
What are they doing with it? Building
It doesn't
bunkers?
matter. Giving it to
Zuckerberg is
you.
destroying the world and then escaping in a bunker.
Funding your crazy independent film projects.
Yeah.
Helping you
I've
with
had so
finding
many
a lawyer.
great invention ideas. You don't want to. You're like, I'd rather invest in.
I mean, I knew that you had
doll
some of these,
shows.
I knew you've had some of these films. We've talked about it briefly off the air. I didn't know you wanted to talk about it in front of however many people are going to see this now over the next couple of weeks. I keep sharing it, and people keep seeing it live, and then seeing it again. Looks like it's live.
Sharing is caring.
If sharing is caring, especially when you want people to see the video. But you just exposed this now, so I guess what I want to do before we talk about movies, I want to basically close this with trying to figure out how do we get by in this kind of system. What are we doing to help?
I don't know. Like, is this
ourselves.
a wristwatch or something?
I don't know what you're doing. Put that down. What is that? All right. So what do you think?
What can we do?
Your opinion. What can we do?
You got to buck the system. Vote for when you go to the polls. Since you only have two choices, you'd have to do it word of mouth. You can't be promoting it on the air. I mean, maybe everybody listens to it from here. If you don't want to make me president instantly with all kinds of influx of money, then get Cory Booker to be president. Just write him in.
He's senator from New York.
Senator
right?
Corey. He's a big
senator.
animal rights guy, but he's the sharpest tool in the shed, and it's an option they're not doting on.
But here,
You could hack the whole government if you put somebody in. They didn't have a textbook template to control.
You don't think that even when we're voting that we're really not making enough change? There's still going to be that higher level of group that you're talking about that's, still controlling everything.
Like South Park said, the pews have made $1 billion. They sold this streaming. But anyways, they used to be real funny.
They're still funny.
But it's like they said, it's like, who's the lesser evil? Do I want to vote for shit taco or shit sandwich? You
You like swearing, don't you?
You gotta. Well, I mean, I'm not saying the F word, right?
No, don't do that. But yeah, I just feel like we do, because on a local level, who do you think is controlling things? You don't have your federal senator, U.S. senator from Washington coming over here and making a bunch of
I'm going to
local
amend
ordinances.
a law of profanity right now. I can say shit. Because you know why? People are putting it in their bodies with every hamburger. You're eating feces.
But now you're getting on a
You
whole
think a
nother
cow,
topic.
they bathe a cow? It's in their hide and everything else, and you're eating that. Smell your burger. Smell it.
I
Even
mean,
cooked.
Now you're gonna
even cooked.
Now
smell
you're
it.
really upsetting all the people that
Well,
advertise. Like,
Start getting Impossibles. That's all I could say.
I don't like it.
Well, an Impossible Whopper tastes just like a burger.
You say
Don't
that.
pick the meat off.
I've
and be like,
had the White Castle.
You got to eat it as a
hey,
whole.
we
as
need to
it's
get
designed.
all these people on the show. No, I've had the Castle version. I'm not a fan.
It's you just got to leave pickles on it. Extra
But what
pickles.
is that? Now you've opened up another topic that we weren't going to talk about. How do you feel that relates to this whole issue that you have a problem with the film and entertainment industry, life in general, that it's being controlled at the top by these groups? What do you think about the food? Do you think they're poisoning food purposely?
Yeah.
You do.
And anything you eat is pure grease. Lean chicken is not
Chicken water.
healthy for you. It's not everybody's like, yeah, I only eat chicken. My sports friends. It's like, dude, that's still 100% grease. And
I thought they made them. They
it's
actually genetically modified
putrefactive.
them.
No, it's putrefactive grease. It's cellular makeup. Okay, when you have a pot of like chili or whatever, you skim the top of grease, right? And the next day in the fridge is going to be more grease. Gee, where did it appear from? A rabbit out of the hat? No, it's slowly rotting dead flesh. It's melting grease, and it's congealing in your arteries.
You think that's anywhere? Anywhere you go, if you eat, say, a hamburger that's
Now-
an actual from a cow.
Yeah, I'm farm raised. It's still, you're eating a dead animal.
I'm Joe the farmer.
Who taught
Wait,
us to eat dead animals?
I'm Joe the farmer in the middle of Nebraska. I'm slaughtering the cow. I'm eating the meat.
You know why? The powers that be, that's their number one economy. Okay?
What, slaughtering...
Dead animals.
Oh.
I don't know if there's a mountain somewhere where there's a reptile overlord that we dump shipping containers full of babies and
Right.
dead animals in, and it eats them. I don't know, but that's the number one economy.
You're not going to admit who is at the top,
The
but you know
pews,
somebody's
the
up
pews.
there.
But that's their number one method of slaughter. Global industrial slaughter is the kosher method. Nobody knows what kosher really means. It means to be hung upside down by your hoof and talon and bloodletted. It's a worse death than a bolt, that which like local farmers do.
No, the kosher has to do with the meat's pure, whatever. That I don't know how that could be the way you're describing it.
Industrial slaughter. Okay, it's different than country boy putting a turkey in a little barrel and cutting its head off. They're hung upside down and they're put on conveyors, and most times they're boiled alive and chopped up alive, and the cows are crying before they even hear wind of it.
Well, that had to do with they were supposed
Mercy
to be
for Animals,
Yeah.
a charity I give to, they actually think this is a good thing, which it kind of is. They claim this is a victory, that
What?
they're doing some new process where the animals aren't going to hear the other animals slaughter, where they literally cry. They don't want to die. It's their life. They
I
don't
didn't know
understand.
that. I thought they.
But
don't
there's
know
a
what's
new
going on, but
system
okay.
where they're not. I don't know if they're going to put headphones on them or what. But it's still horrible. It's still. But the Mercy for Animals tries to give them mercy. We try to like climb the ladder incrementally. You know.
Well, if you had it your way, we'd have a lot more animals running around and maybe less humans.
No, humans are what's breeding everything. Yeah,
You think it's all my fault.
The
there.
worst of humanity breeds, buys, or discards animals, whether it's livestock or domestic. I can't even get to the slaughter issues because everybody's breeding dogs and cats. Well, that's the worst of humanity. Every time you buy one in your local community is being put to death.
You know,
especially animal controls.
You really should be doing a.
They got buckets and buckets of dead they kill every week.
You should probably put
Human
together.
consumption. You know?
should put together some kind of series about this.
I hate stupid inventions and companies and just
But
I hate
everything you've talked about in the last 40 minutes could be a series. You could have like a television series. Why don't you do that? Forget about making the
I'm
movies.
not Joe Rogan with billions of
You don't need billions of
pew
dollars.
money.
You don't need billions of dollars.
Dude, your
to make
voice
anything.
doesn't matter in America. Trust me.
I
would
still-
be president. All the gangs and shit in jail, when I solve their problems, when I kind of run the gang whether it's a Latin gang or a black gang, whether I kind of run them for the day and calm things down, they all were like, you should lead us. You know, I should
What, you
make
mean
me
you were the
president. I'll fix everything.
You were the leader of the gang, and when you're in the federal detention, is that what you're saying?
I ran shit.
You did not. You probably were a
I was
scared little kid
I'm
in
like
the corner.
Jesus, though.
You're so full.
I literally did whittle down to about 120 pounds.
This was all his character for his new film.
No,
coming up.
I whittled down. They starve you to death.
They do.
Oh, yeah, it's inedible. They kept shipping me to different jails, different detentions.
They gave food.
They
but
make
you
your
just
life a
didn't- you
living
couldn't
hell.
eat it. You
They make the
couldn't eat it.
food digestive agony. Oh man, it's just horrible.
What kind of stuff were you getting in the prison?
Well, you don't get fruit. I had a billionaire buddy and some guy that used to have fights with machetes in his country. He's an Indian guy. He'd make me like step on his back, and everybody would laugh, like for like therapy.
In a movie?
Because I didn't want to massage him. He's
In
like,
a
hey,
movie.
he's like, hey, bro, just stand on my back. He talked like Canadian Indian, but he's a billionaire. And he got out. He didn't take me around the world like he said. He just goes off.
This
killed
is
a bunch of people. with machetes.
This is when you were in prison?
Yeah.
Oh,
But he would order in my commissary he would order all
Fruit?
this like Snickers and stuff. Yeah, and then he had to deal with the sheriffs to get all these bags of fruit. We were like the #1 booze supplier in the whole county.
From what?
From
What were they
Pruno.
making the booze?
Pruno.
Yeah.
You just pour sugar on fruit and it ferments.
Oh, and it ferments, yeah. Ooh.
I actually had a drink with a friend of mine. Her name's Renee. She's a real cool girl. And we had a
Is she a
say.
film producer as well?
Well, she's actually in my new show about documentaries and films and stuff.
Okay.
But we got a sangria. I never had that before. I guess it's like a regular wine.
Spanish drink, isn't it?
Yeah, a wine and then fruit in it. But you have to add a simple sugar, which is just like sugar and water, because I think it breaks down the fruit and it infuses it into the drink. Because we tried it without the simple sugar and it's like night and day.
I've never even had it, so I couldn't comment.
Yeah,
on it.
I've never had it before. It's good
But
as hell.
but you were
Inexpensive, $10.
You think that when you're in there,
I'm trying to go broke when
they're
I'm
trying to get you to
drunk.
rot, is what you're saying about the system. When you get on the bad side of it, they're trying to get rid of you.
Oh, I don't know how I'm not assassinated. For real.
Really? I mean, did you?
Maybe
did you come
because
up-
sometimes maybe the guy with the sniper rifle is listening to me in real time and he just hears me just talk about my thoughts and maybe he laughs.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I entertain him.
You entertain
He's like,
him, so
I'm
you-
gonna let this
You know
guy
what?
live."
We'll keep this one. Write that down. Yeah, no, that's funny.
That's the only thing I can think of. 'Cause
So your background is mostly from your own experiences, maybe a little bit of training on video equipment or film equipment, but basically you're just a raw, independent,
dude, I'm
like street guy.
You know how many customizations of like being a sound engineer I've done over the decades with, there's USB and RCA jack and bypass it with this inverter and blah, 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 blah. And now it's so complex. The engineers of the world have made all their problems so complex and overlapping to each other that you're not going to figure shit out.
Well, wait.
Wanda, is that a gauntlet you're wearing? Or you're like a medieval warrior then?
Yes.
And this is a round table.
She's not on the camera. They don't even know who you're talking to. That's the owner. Anyway, but wait. You think that... I thought the whole point of all this... You get off on all these topics. I can't even get you to focus. For so much we're talking about movies today. But anyway, let's talk about that. You think that
Water.
the way it's
Sold
going right now...
right next door.
You don't think it's much easier to do all this than it was 10 years ago with that you talked about the digital analog conversion?
They don't want you to be creative.
I know they don't want you to own
Now,
Adobe, for instance.
you know why?
You got to rent it every month. I know that. Are you talking about like stuff like
The
that?
film festivals that you think are indie, they're not. They're just owned by Redford or Pew. I think when there's an attempt to stray from the masses, they're gonna control it easy, like a third option of politics. They're gonna jump on that shit right away and then control it and steer it, corral it completely. Now, I can't be creative anymore. I haven't drawn in years.
Why?
They just stole my outlet for creativity. If I put something on Facebook, they're just going to yank it off. My
You
My
sound like
Humberberto video.
Everything you're talking about is like that you are being like targeted.
There's always
I think it's people in general.
There's always a creative angle, and there's a lot of people I talk to that don't go through these things. It's like me. It's like I'm the #1 public enemy. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. It's not just you. There's a lot of people that have issues like what you're having. Maybe not the whole thing with the prison thing, but
my Humberberto mannequin video. I've had nothing but problems keeping it on air. It's not sexual. It's a mannequin. Okay, South Park got away with it with their puppets.
No, it's
and
probably
Team
because
America.
it was a little too creepy for Facebook, probably.
Who's to say that?
Or was it YouTube?
Who do I have to appease?
Well, but who is it?
Here,
YouTube or Facebook?
Okay, here is
Where is it? Where is the video?
Wait. Here's my black voice on appeasing people.
Where is the video?
It don't matter. There's always going to be somebody bitching about something. Now, I've gotten poisoned in my dang city 3 days in a row. It gets me susceptible to whatever virus people die of or whatever, COVID or whatever.
You were drinking the water that they told you to boil.
But I didn't know that all day, and I'm drinking this water, so they poisoning me.
Well, that explains the paranoia here of Andy P.
They're always bitching about how I park. Because I park sideways on my driveway.
You park cars on your lawn. What do you expect them to say?
Well, everybody else does. Who cares?
They do.
Now, if I park like regular, or if I don't have scrap on my truck, or if I paint my house in uniformity blue or something, somebody's still gonna bitch. They're not gonna like how I look, my big nose or some shit, right?
Well, let me ask you.
You can't appease people.
Is this stuff that you're gonna put into this series that you're working on, or does this have nothing to do? You just venting today?
Like I said,
does this have anything to do with your story?
In jail, a white dude sits around and just contemplates shit to whip up out of thin air, concoct some kind of argument, hatred, something. That's how my kind is. I've dealt with my whole family, everybody I've ever met, behind the scenes. Everybody talks shit.
Well, why don't you write?
And it's not playful. It's hateful.
Why aren't you documenting all this? You're telling me now on this podcast,
dude.
This radio
you know
show,
what reality TV?
Podcast,
the Osbournes, the first reality show. You know, are they really entertaining? No, it's just you have 5 cameramen filming them all day long.
Well, that's semi-scripted.
Do you think Kardashians are really entertaining? No, you just have all the footage and cameramen.
So why aren't you doing
And then
it?
you edit in things.
Okay,
well, I'm doing that with this documentary show.
Okay, so let's talk about that. We got a couple minutes left. What is Andy P., who's very upset about everything, as you can tell, what are you working on currently?
Well, it's
to get out there.
I don't want to talk about.
Maybe we'll bring it on here.
I don't want to talk about one of the segments that's interjected in the show, but from the title, you could kind of see what it's about. I think I'm going to call it Movie Peeps or Peep Show or something like that.
Movie Peeps or Peep Show. All right. Because I happen to know.
I'm just going to, when it's done, like 6 episodes, I'm just going to give it to you, and you chop it up, and you submit it to Netflix.
There, so he wants to self-distribute it and see how the powers that be, as you call them.
Well,
I love what
I'm
you call
making
them.
it with my friend.
You should contact Mr. Trudeau. I think you should.
I'm making it with my
along,
friends Tim and Brad, and Tim especially. When we've gotten around to party scenes, cookouts, parties, everybody silences and listens to us when we talk about movies. Between us, we just nonstop every movie. It's like I'm a scholar in movies and I didn't know it.
Well, I
know the magic because I just haven't captured the magic on a show.
You tried producing them, and now you are again. But this is a series, not a movie, right?
Yeah, like talking
Netflix.
about movies and then maybe intersplicing it with some movie clips.
Where do you want to distribute
There's
it?
a
Facebook?
movie clip with Charles Bronson.
Wait, where are you going to put it? Hold on, one thing at a time. Where are you going to put it?
He's like, Christine. He looks at this woman. He's on a mountain. He's like, Christina, you're a whore.
Where are you going to put the film or this series?
I'm just going to hand it to you and see if you can whip up some magic, Mr. Producer.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I thought maybe you wanted to be on Netflix or Hulu or something.
Drop the stupid doll and get with the big
I think
money.
we need to go get him some therapy. What do you think, folks? You can comment below.
I've seen over a dozen psychiatrists.
Oh, you have? Okay.
But more than Charles Manson has.
They mess with your head, too. But no, very creative person. There's no doubt about it. You have a lot of interesting views. You probably should do some kind of like special report from your area or something like the Northwest Indiana beat or something. While you're making your film, you should probably do something, and then we could have that air here with part of my show at some point. But I think we've had a plenty of knowing about Mr. Andy P. over here today. So I do thank you for being here. I didn't know exactly where we were going with this, but I had a lot of fun with you.
A lot of tangents.
Yeah, but you are very interesting and creative, and I like your energy for sure. I just maybe we got to restrain you a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I need bound and gagged, I guess.
No, we won't go that far.
I need shock treatments, lobotomy.
But if they do want to find Andy, if they want to find you do have stuff on YouTube. Did you have it under a film company name or anything?
Maybe just
Andy P?
muzzle me and like every minute release like a little louver so I could say one word.
One word. One
And I'll
word
say
every
it.
couple of minutes. Anyway, so you can find him on Facebook too. You could look at my page, Bell and Company. We'll have links to some of his stuff. So anyway, thanks for being here, Andy. That was very fun.
Thanks for
Can you
having
believe that
me.
was an hour?
Wow.
And I am Mario J. Bell of Bell and Company, and we'll see you next time. We'll be back probably with Libby next time.
Toodaloo.
See you, everybody.